that's a household thing
Yeah.
too. I think when you had mentioned I can't remember what one of the early questions was, but we talked about household stuff. And there's some people like, oh, you had talked about guilt about growing up in the household that you grew up in because it's like,
well,
it was a good household.
Well, just to be clear, I feel guilt in the sense of I remember growing up in high school and being like, oh, there was a lot of kids that don't have it as good as I did.
Right.
Not
That's
good
the
as
thing.
parents as I did.
Yeah. And
don't come from a good
we've talked
situation,
about that
you
a
know?
lot because it's like we've been told our whole life by other people, whether it's people in youth group or church or like distant
public
family
setting,
members
yeah.
who just show up and they're like, I wish I had your family and I wish you grew up in your house. And it's like,
Yep.
what?
They were like, oh, okay, well,
Like,
how do you respond to that? You're like,
yeah, how
thank
do you
you.
respond to
Yeah,
that?
like
so
that kind of developed the guilt. Like I still feel that today.
Well, and like,
but I don't think we should be
'Cause I feel
ashamed of
bad.
how we grew up. Not at
No,
all.
there's
no,
nothing we could do
no,
about it.
not at all.
Yeah, no.
but
I just feel like survival skill. Like, wow, they had it so bad.
Yeah,
like,
so bad.
Like I could never ever wish that.
I thought of
on,
survivor's
you know.
guilt too earlier when we mentioned
Yeah,
it,
the
like,
word is
the
survivor's
concept-
guilt, right?
survivor's
You
guilt.
survived something that someone else did.
Oh, okay, I see.
Right?
But like it's not because we didn't survive anything. We just lived a different
just lived a
lifestyle.
different
That's how we
lifestyle.
describe it because that's what it feels like.
It does feel like
Yeah.
like we had it good. Like even though we were lower middle class.
And just to be
Yeah.
fair, I would
buy
never
consoles and
ever
games we
trade
liked.
my childhood for anyone else's childhood ever. Ever. I had a great childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could go back to my childhood. Not a lot of people could say that.
And that's
Which is a
Was that
blessing.
one of the
That's a
inspirations
huge
that
blessing.
brought up this topic? Because you're the one who came up with the topic. You're like, man, I wish I could go back to my childhood. Like, do you feel that way?
Let me ask you that, Chelsea. Like,
Okay.
what's something